For a long while, I've been planning on trying my hand on adopts as an alternative to commissioning, but for months on end now, I just haven't been able to motivate myself to do extra work until I looked at my bank account yesterday and I saw flies. So, I decided I finally had enough time to actually seriously start on this project. For the months that I've been planning adopts, but not actually doing any, I've been putting all that effort into creating prompts and ideas. So I dusted off the old Milano and chose the first one on the list. When I start any creative project, my first step is to always find some sort of reference image inspiration photos. I have a whole entire folder on my phone dedicated to just filling it up with inspiration photos. And once I have images that I like, or I have an idea in my head, I'll get on Canva and I'll start my self-created mood board. Okay, so as I was saying, I start every single project out with a mood board. It just helps me get an idea of what to do. Because if I just started something without having a single ideation, I wouldn't make anything. So before I get started onto the mood board for this project, here is one of my previous mood boards. This one was a pretty serious mood board. It's not for a character design or anything like that. Like the actual thing that I drew, it was a fish riding a cow. And I got the idea, originally I was really inspired by this lion decker image right here with this cow. And then I was really inspired by this, cowboy riding. I like the simplicity of it. And so it really helped me. And I didn't have any sort of ideas for this project at all until I put everything out. And now here is the mood board for this character design. My character design mood boards look a little bit different from my style boards as this is, but they're basically the same concept. Every single time I start out with images that inspire me for this character. And so obviously this one I already had the prompt rain bath twins. So I looked up pictures of rain, of different blues, of the porcelain, of the bathtubs, and then from there I thought that maybe it would be cool to add in some iridescent. A lot of the things on here didn't make it. It was just giving me an idea for me to swerve off of, like the gaudy jewelry here, or this specific makeup. The reason why the inspiration photos are so important in this part is because I take them and I make a color thing out of them, as you can see here. This is going to save your life. I use coolers, coolers, I don't know, COOLORS to make every single one of my themes, and I love them so bad. I just took these straight up and I imported them into my actual canvas on Procreate. I always use Procreate. I love Procreate. And so I just take this and I have this up during the entire process. I will always be pulling it up, looking at it, zooming on images. This is the base of my entire thing. Once I'm done developing a vague creative direction for the characters, I pick one of my bases. I need to make more. Stay tuned for that video. And I get started sketching. Every single one of my character designs starts off with bases that I made stemming from 2023, but you'll quickly notice looking at my art that only use maybe 3 to 4 of them, and that is because all of the bases I use come from art pieces from before I even thought of using a base. So they're not good, plain and simple. To combat this problem during a time crunch where I can't make a new base, I'll use my best ones and I'll basically bash it with my other ones to get the physique, gender, and pose I want, as seen in the background where I'm taking random parts and putting them together. Zarina's sketch started out as a random head, a random pose, and someone else's calves, but I made it work.
Music licensing reimagined.
This section is only going to consist of kind of random spurts of progress. I could have uploaded the entire, like, the hours and hours and hours of footage I have of me drawing, but I'm not. My computer already wants to die. My iPad already wants to die. My iPad is older than my Rabbit is. Speaking of Rabbit, if you're hearing stuff in the background, I just found out I've been reviewing footage. That has been him making random noises this entire time. I've been so confused because I had my headphones in listening to the footage. It's been him. But I'm not going. You don't. If you really want to see my entire hours and hours and hours of footage, go to my Patreon. If that's really what you want to do, I'll be uploading this onto my Patreon. I might even upload the non-sped up version. It's just going to be hours and hours and hours of me just straight up drawing. But I'm not doing that for the purpose of this video.
Music licensing reimagined.
Sorry, I feel like I'm not giving you like time to breathe. But just wanted to say, I used to be one of those people that thought that using the lasso tool as a brush was genuinely stupid. But I'm a reformed man, I'm getting too country. But I'm a reformed person and it's truly my favorite brush now. I'll go in with the lasso tool to fill everything in and then create sections. I'll put base colors down with the lasso tool. And while I blush using the wet acrylic brush, I'll then go in with the lasso tool to create shadows, bounce light, highlights. And then I'll go in with brushes to do whatever looks best. It's truly a really useful tool, and if you know how to use it, it becomes gorgeous. I don't know how to use it, but I'm getting there. Sorry for any audio issues you experience throughout this video. I'm trying my best to manage any background noises, to edit anything out, to try not to have my rabbit destroying my room in the background be recorded. But, you know, I'm just trying to make my first video and then I can go on from there and really develop my craft. Anyways. Once I'm finally happy with my characters, I export them as a PNG and immediately get started on Canva making a character design card. I promise I am not like a Canva endorser or something like that. My school pays for premium Canva, so I use Canva a lot because I get it for free. You've already seen it, you might like it. This is the character design card that I used to market these adoptables. I started off downloading the PNG off my iPad and then sending it to my Google Drive, where I then put it into Canva. I always start off with the background at every single point. I always start for the background. So I kind of just messed around with colors a little bit until I found a color that I liked. And then I wanted to really focus on the characters. So you'll see this like box in the background a lot on all my graphic design work. I use it to highlight everything. So I put the box in, it's my usual. And then from there, I immediately knew that I wanted something to frame. So I spent like an hour looking for frames that I could use in a commercial setting. I found these. I don't know, I don't remember where I found these at. Maybe Adobe Stocks. I mean, I'm too poor for that. So maybe not. Box frames as well, and so I use the box frames. The problem with the box frames though, they're box frames and not rectangle frames, and I knew that I wanted the names to be rectangle. So I put in some box graphics, rounded the corners out, and then I put in the box frames, and then I got a warp app off of Canva, and I just warped it. It looks a little silly if you look at it too closely, but I think that the warpness of it really helped From there, I just found a font I like, and so I just filled in everything. The rest was easy. I noticed that because the background was that yellow that I was kind of using for the highlight, a lighter yellow,
Music
but
licensing
still a yellow,
reimagined.
I needed to put a circle behind it so it really popped out, and so I did. I actually spent a lot of time with trying to highlight the color swatches. I was putting boxes and I really hated it, and so eventually I put the circles and they're minuscule and I like them. And then I realized I needed to watermark it, and so I spent like an hour, 2 hours, just working around with like how I wanted to watermark it. I didn't want to make it too crazy watermarking because I didn't want to draw away from the actual piece, but I like keeping work. I don't want it fed to AI or anything like that. So eventually, I just came up with this. It's nice. I like it. Real quick, let's check the time. And I'm making good progress. It's only been 8 hours working and I finished just in time for my 9:30 p.m. bedtime. It's 4 a.m. I spent 6 hours managing and trying to figure out where to post my adoptables to get enough exposure. Thank you so much for tuning in. Following the creation of my first ever adopts, this is my first ever YouTube video that I've managed to post. I have a bunch of scripts sitting in my folders, so if you want to see any of that or my second round of adopts, please consider subscribing. I plan to do a lot more on this channel than just progress videos like these. Check out my video with the name @chickenhummus for the chance to buy one or both of the twins.
Music
Actually,
licensing
you can just search up chicken hummus on most social medias and my content will pop up. I don't know, dude. Have a nice life. I'll see you next time and ooh. Might want to bring a towel next time. Stay soggy.